pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, welcome to a snow-filled Scott County. So at this point, we're going to ask anybody's got anything they want to bring up, talk about. Usually we give everybody this opportunity before the meeting gets started, but one thing we can't do is to act on anything that you bring up. So has anybody got anything that anybody wants to talk about? I don't see anybody jumping up. So with that, Melissa with River Hills EDC grant application update.
Alright. The first three things I have are for Nick, and it's for the Life Spring project, and you all had authorized Commissioner Jones to sign outside of a meeting actually, but these are just closeout forms that need to be signed
All right.
for the Life Spring project.
So did we get what was done?
He's going up there, as I understand it, Friday, up there being the contractor's office to review the subcontracts that they have on file. And then his plan, I believe, is to write a letter stating he had access to those contracts and has seen them, and he'll put that on our letterhead to Oprah saying he was given access to review those contracts. So I think we're on the right track.
So they'll be
as long
happy.
as they'll let him see them on Friday. So
Okay.
yeah, we'll let you know. We'll keep you in the loop for sure.
All right.
Thank you. And then on your upcoming COVID-19 response grant that you plan to apply for, actually, I have an income survey letter here too. This is what will go out to residents. That's the income survey that you're doing to hopefully allow you to be eligible to apply for the comp plan. But that's a letter that'll be going out to the residents.
Just an explanation.
Yeah, it's just, and we have to be very, abide by particular language that Oprah wants us to, so we have to be very careful with what we say in those letters, so. Next is the COVID-19.
Before that,
Oh, yeah.
Tammy, did we get any kind of memo out to possibly to radio station or anything about telling people that this survey's coming and it's not a scam or something to give their information?
I haven't actually written that yet. Listen,
I'll help
put that
you.
together whenever I get her release dates. This is when we're gonna be mailing out dates, so that way we got a kind of time frame
Okay.
that this will come out in.
I just want to make sure we get that information
Sure.
out in the paper, wherever Marty's at, and possibly on the radio and Facebook, or whoever runs that Facebook page, and so that we're letting people know we're asking for some information, personal information from you, but it's for the county and not for some scammer.
And we can each individual share.
That's what I was gonna suggest, just share whatever, that would be great too, for everyone who looks at your pages.
And I've got a copy of that as well.
Okay,
Okay.
all right,
You
so,
need me to sign
yes,
that?
please, and that's the letter I'll use.
And then just, we'll stay in touch and we'll work on
Yes,
getting that.
we'll work on, yes, I'll
Okay.
review.
What's the third thing?
So the third thing is the COVID-19 response grant that you're applying for small business grants for $250,000. As you know, we've been discussing local match coming from the county. I went to a council meeting last week and they were all, I think I can say all, very favorable on wanting to try to find that match from somewhere. That local match will be 10% or $27,778. With that, Tammy has some things she wants to share with you.
In speaking with Karen Arland, who is our redevelopment commission consultant, she has indicated that, and there's a resolution later on in your meeting agenda for you to look at, that different funds can be redirected during declared emergencies. And since the initial executive order basically has been amended lots of times with Governor Holcomb, the one that's in place right now is set to expire March the 1st. So we are still in that window that we can adopt the resolution, and she asked me if the commissioners had ever adopted such thing, and I said no, not yet. So she specifically outlined the situation with the investment and trying to help assist during COVID small businesses. So that resolution's in your packet, like I said, for later. But this will open the door for the redevelopment commission to consider appropriation, creating a line item and appropriating 28,000 into a small business incentive line in their budget, and then being able to pull from that for the match money. So that gives a break to the commissioners and the council in our regular budgets. If redevelopment so moves, then that money can be used from that fund rather than one of the other funds.
Okay.
So that'll be a little bit later, but that ties into what she's talking about right now.
So the reason I'm here tonight is I really need some sort of formal commitment. I can put the notice in the public hearing notice saying it's cash on hand. I don't have to specify the actual source of the funding. But I just need to know that going in because I need to submit the legal ad tomorrow.
So what was that official number for us?
It's $27,778. I would come back with a resolution at your March 3rd meeting, but I just need to know this for the public hearing
You
notice.
still need some letters from business people, don't you?
I do, yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
We'll get some.
Okay.
So what do you, so you're saying the council felt comfortable?
They felt like it was very worthwhile, and their essence, I'll call it, from that meeting was that we'll find the money from somewhere. And in the meantime, after that meeting, I got to thinking about the redevelopment even more and questioned Karen some more, and she sent that resolution to me, which furthers this cause along. So,
John, you're on that board. I mean, how you feel like they would act?
Well, I think as long as we get authority from Karen, I mean, I can't speak for other people.
Oh, I know
But
that.
yes, I think it would be positive. Yes.
Okay. Well, I guess at that point, you want to entertain a motion to match the, I mean, we're only out the money if we get the grant.
If you get the grant, yeah,
So-
you're not out the money.
I'll make that motion to accept it and send it to the redevelopment.
Okay.
Okay.
Second, I'll make that unanimous, so, and that's for 27,778.
Yep.
So,
That's right.
all right. So one way or the other, we're gonna either get it through the redevelopment or we're going to find it in the council somewhere, so.
Yeah, that sounds
And that
good.
money's only obligated if we get the grant.
Yes, it's contingent on award,
And-
so.
It looks like, Tammy, we're gonna have a meeting February what?
maybe as early as the 28th, Friday the 28th.
Okay.
Okay.
I can come to that if that would be helpful.
26th,
Sure.
I'm sorry, 26th.
Sure.
Do you know what time or can you let me know?
We haven't set the time yet, but
Okay.
I'll let you know
Okay,
on that.
that'll be good, yep. And the only other thing going along with that, the public hearing is going to be scheduled for March 9th. It's either 3 or 3:30, I believe it's 3:30, I'll confirm that with the person I scheduled it with in here and let you all know. And then letters or emails of support for that grant application. I'm gonna also be working on that too, but if you have anybody that you wanna direct my way, I'd be happy to speak with them as far as what they need to include in the contents.
Okay.
So. Do you all want, I could give each of you a couple of my cards if it would help to pass out to.
Slide one down.
Okay.
Got a long reach here.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
And do any of you have any questions at this point? No? Okay. Well, I'll be back at your next meeting, to have a resolution and a local match letter signed by that point, so.
Thank you.
Thank you
Sounds
all
good.
so much.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you. Next up is use of courtyard request picnic table donation.
So I'm not looking up.
Oh, yes.
So, the gist of it is, obviously you all know I'm involved with theater now. We are attempting to try to get some food trucks. I'm sorry, my shoes untied, it bothers me too much, I'm a little OCD about that. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring some food trucks down to the square and be able to have some picnic tables on the southwest corner. Right now, as you may or may not be aware, there's only basically one restaurant open during our hours, and that's Hardee's. And some of our clientele would like to see more restaurants. Unfortunately, it takes time to get a business going, but we can get food trucks for this coming year probably fairly easy. So what I'm asking for is someplace to be able to put 3 to 5 picnic tables on that southwest corner. I still gotta find some funding for those, but I just wanna get approval from the county. We're not gonna put the food trucks on county property, not on your spots, we'll probably put them in front of the theater. And I've already been approved by the city to put them in front of any of my buildings that I own, so.
So as far as what you're asking for the county is to put some picnic tables
Yeah,
on the property over there?
sounds fairly easy, right?
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
We talked earlier, I was trying to figure out anything that could be an issue. The only issue I came up with, maybe the ground could get stripped a little bit on that. What do you think about the possibility of movable tables? Some you could just take out and use them when you need them, and when you're done, take them back across the street.
I thought about that, but that's a lot of work for us.
I know it.
For setting it up. I mean, if that's the only way I can do it,
Yeah.
sure. And my bigger concern is if let's just say we have a late night, because sometimes we're there till midnight and we can't get them all put up, is somebody will steal them overnight.
Well, that's a possibility too.
Well, I'm like John, I think the biggest thing would be, as far as the courtyard, that corner of the property has actually got the best strand of grass over there because Kelly did a lot of work out there. I wouldn't want to see the grass killed. I mean, and I know we have picnics and stuff, or not picnics, but festivals and stuff out here, but they're usually a day or a day and a half and they're gone, so.
This would only, for my use, would only be Friday and Saturday, but I thought about leaving them there all week so that courthouse employees can use it, city employees can use it. I mean, you have people here taking lunch, right?
Yeah.
It'd be nice to
Actually,
have some place to sit.
Just from other counties I've been to, not just counties, but other little towns I've seen who have little squares, a lot of them have little picnic areas.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if we could, not necessarily for you, but as a county, we may wanna look at maybe decorating our courtyard up somewhere along the line to meet some of this stuff. Some of them are just beautiful.
Yeah.
And so I'm all for you having a picnic table there, and, if it's a regular picnic table, fine, but I think I prefer something that could be picked up, and I realize that's a problem for you, but.
I guess I look at from the flip side, if you don't mind me saying, if the grass gets trampled, that means you know people are using them.
Oh,
People
yeah.
are coming to your courtyard. At that
Yeah.
point in time, we can look at doing some form of investment of mulch
Yeah.
or something else on a permanent basis.
I'll interject a courtyard use permit, usually
Yeah.
whenever there's an event or someone is using, and then there's the insurance that's usually required with that too, so I don't know how that plays into what.
And this is you, go ahead,
You know,
I'm
if
sorry.
a slip and falls or somebody has an issue, most of the time it has to be equal to what the county has coverage on. And that's usually what happens when it
Yeah,
keeps
I'll-
us from being liable.
I'll be blunt, I'm not gonna carry any insurance. I mean, if
Yeah.
a picnic table's a picnic table, it's no worse than the gazebo you have sitting out there.
You know, John, I agree with you on that. If there's somebody falls in the grass, whether it's a picnic table or not, we'll still have a certain liability there. If we have a picnic table at Pigeon Roost, somebody gets hurt, we've got a liability anywhere. So, I mean, but that is on a part of the contract. However, it wouldn't, that's not a deal breaker for me. I want you to have something there. I don't know about 3 to 5. That's quite a few picnic tables in that area. I don't know how many people you're expecting to be in and out of there. You say you're talking about mostly theater times at nighttime?
Well, I'm just trying to have it open. I mean, the reason why I said 3 to 5 is I think that accommodates 3 to 5 families. Our average shows are, during the Christmas time, was 100 people. So, I mean, that's a decent number of people. If they all want to come get food, and we're trying to do local food trucks as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just helping everybody out in the community.
Yeah.
I mean, I get no money out of this. I hope you guys realize
I
this.
understand.
I just get the
Why-
intrinsic value.
Why don't we do this? My suggestion would be, let's try it and see if it works. And if we see that it's, you know,
If there's an issue,
we're gonna get a
we'll talk
dirt
about it.
bowl out there or something else and we gotta do something different. But that, I mean, I don't wanna discourage people that are coming back to the courthouse, that area, and I don't wanna discourage people from visiting anybody on the square. So, I mean, anytime we can generate people into Scott County and not generate them out of the county to go to Clarksville or Jeff or Seymour or someplace else. And quite honestly, I've seen big crowds over there, and I think it's trying to revitalize an area that needs some tender loving care. So What do
You
you
know,
think,
one
Randy?
of the reasons I've kind of supported this too is because I know how hard you work to try to do
Oh,
something with that end over there.
I appreciate
And I
it.
feel like we need to support it, so.
I agree with him wholeheartedly. We've had conversations and quite honestly, I'm all for the theater opening back up, and his thoughts and plans over there, I think are great, and it's gonna be, if it works out like you say, it's gonna be good for everybody, so. I'm all for it. Go.
Are we allowed to ask a question?
Yeah.
Just something that popped in my head. It sounds like you would probably also need some additional trash receptacles.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to mention that.
Well, you can
Well,
get,
now, for what it's worth, I talked to John earlier about that and asked the same question. And you said, what I asked you, and I think you agreed to, was anything trash that was left there the night you had your trucks there, you would be responsible for.
Yep.
So if you guys aren't there that day, if somebody leaves, that's not your,
It'll be a two-tier system. Food truck's supposed to pick up, and when they don't pick up, I'll pick up.
yeah,
I'll personally be out there picking up,
okay,
or my kids will.
yeah.
I should say.
it'll be the kid,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I think.
And we're talking right across from the theater, we're not talking on this side of the square. We're
No,
talking-
you've got a couple big trees down there, and
Yeah.
that there's not a lot of grass around those trees because of the shade they provide.
Okay,
But
well,
I
that
think
was the
they would be
biggest
great.
issue I could think of was just, I don't wanna see I don't wanna see everything matted down and become dirt. And if that becomes an issue,
We'll see what
we'll
we
talk
do.
to you,
Well,
okay?
like I said, like I said, my thought is, let's try it, and see what happens. If we have to readdress it and say, hey, let's make some adjustments here, or something's not working out, then we'll readdress it.
And we'll put 2 trash cans out there as well, and I have a dumpster or two.
Does he still need to fill one of these out, Tammy, one of these forms, or is that just something we can?
Well, that's your all's policy,
This
but
is-
that's up to you guys, if you're gonna waive that form or not.
I think he needs to fill it out. Now, at the bottom, I think there is a part that says about the insurance, and I guess just leave it blank, so.
And then if,
So we officially have it on record, if you can take that and fill it out and leave it with the auditor.
I'll go fill it out and fill it out and bring it back to you, Tammy, if
that's
that's all right.
fine, John.
All right.
I just wanted to make
Do
sure
we
that
need to
you
vote?
guys covered that.
I don't know, can we just, Randy makes a motion?
I'll second it
John,
to,
second.
allow the picnic tables out there, and if you have any issues, please let us know.
Okay.
And
All
I'll
right.
make that unanimous, so.
Appreciate it.
All right,
guys.
thank
I'll
you.
fill this out and bring it back to you, Tammy.
All right,
Thank you,
appreciate it.
John.
Looks like the highway supervisor position, I guess there's a couple other things after that, so. So, I know we had executive sessions last week, talked with 6 individuals. All of them could actually be the director or the superintendent down there. I think we've all said in a meeting that we were highly impressed with the group of people we had. Sometimes we don't always get that. Sometimes we've had to open it back up and reach out for some more candidates. But I will say that highly impressed with with the interviews, with the people that put their name in the pot. And again, a lot of those guys were local people. Again, that's impressive too. The people want to serve their communities and stay in their hometowns. So with that, I guess I'll open it up for nominations of someone out of the 6 people that were that had interviewed.
Well, let me say I've got 2 people here that rise to the top for me. I do, and we talked about this, I do like to reward people who work for us and done good work. And in that case, in my case, that'd be Chad Masters. Now, the other one, we only have one other person. His criteria is, I mean, he got an excellent application, was Andrew Boswell. So, those are the 2 people at the top of my list, so you guys can
Well, let
take a
me,
look and see what you think, or I can make a nomination, I don't care.
Well, let me say a little bit
Okay.
before you say that.
Yeah,
There is, in the state of Indiana, there is a fund, highway fund for engineers. With that, engineers, if a county hires an engineer, the state will, give give money each year to that position. And quite honestly, the state encourages counties that can afford to do that, the right and to hire an engineer for their highway departments. With that, one of the things that I will say that I asked the question because some other counties have engineers and some counties have just a superintendent. One of the issues, and I've said this before, that if it was some engineers you can't talk to, like this one, but some of them, if you can't talk to somebody, then they're not any good to you. But in a situation where if you are an engineer and you're willing, and where I go with this with the highway is that there's projects that happen to where we have to go out and get an engineering group to write the project. If you hire an engineer to be in that position, then that engineer is reluctant to put their name or their certificate on their work, then in turn, you're not really gaining anything. So in turn, the only way that I would ever go with an engineer is A, if I could talk to him, and B, if he's willing to put his signature and his engineering certificate on the paperwork. So, and I will say this, so if anybody down the, somewhere down the road says, well, you hired an engineer, but then you turned around and had to hire another engineer to verify the first engineer, there are stipulations in the state that says that you have to do that. So in turn, I just want to let John's talk about one person being a superintendent, one person being an engineer. So I just want to clarify that for any votes, any nominations, or anything else, is that we're looking at two different scenarios, one being a superintendent, one being a possible engineer, and the state does, like I said, throws money in for the engineering
and
part.
like I said, Andrew was very impressive. It was local. I mean, there's a lot of reasons that I could see why you vote that way. I had a concern, and maybe it's already been addressed, is I know the state gives us extra money, but would that replace part of the 55,000, or would it be on top of it?
To me, it'd be on top of it.
Well, me too, but I think is that our decision?
I think it would be our position, or our decision, I think. I mean, because the council has already appropriated money for a superintendent, and so that money's there. So if the state throws in money, I would hate to think that the council would say, well, let's just take that money and we'll save our other money and do something different, but
Yes,
I would hate to
agree.
think that, so.
Well, I think he'd be excellent too. Don't misunderstand me. I just,
What's
two
your,
people rise to talk to me.
Well, I'd like to say that, nothing against Chad or Kevin, but I couldn't pick between the two of you. To be fair, I'd want Chad and Kevin both to have an equal shot, and there's just no fair way of doing that. It would be picking one of you over the other. And sometimes we gotta make decisions, we don't like they have to be in a position to make that decision. Andrew does have the educational background and experience with getting grants for bridges, which is something that is going to be a big thing in the near future. And I think that what he brings to the table offsets what you guys do there, and I think as a whole, it'll complete everything together. With your all's skill and his knowledge of his education and experience, I think it'll be a complimentary situation. So, my vote's gonna be for Andrew.
I just think we got a win-win no matter what we do here. We've got some of the best candidates we could have.
We did. Guys, I want to say firsthand, thank you for putting in for the job. I really do appreciate it.
Well, first of all, I think we need a nomination of some sort. So if somebody wanting to nominate somebody.
Well, I'll nominate Andrew.
We have a nomination of Andrew Boswell for a highway engineer. So, do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
We have a second from John, and I will make that unanimous, so, Tammy, I know some of the people, I know two of them are here, and I appreciate them being here. You're going to, I guess, give a notice to everybody or send everybody a letter that,
I can send, a thank you for your interest letter to the other applicants.
yeah.
He was needing 2 weeks, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, this board has had to make some, actually not this board, the previous board had to make some hires, some of them kind of controversial, some of them not, but in the first time in a long time, we've had to fill this position. Also, we'll say it's going to be a first time in 40 years that we're going to have to find a county attorney. So we've been kind of making some, what I say is hard decisions. You know, it's hard to hire somebody and hard to pick somebody out of a group of a lot of good people. So it's never easy to do that, especially when you live in a community with people, and sometimes it makes it very difficult to hurt, I guess, somebody's feelings of not getting a position that they put in for. So, but again, I was very impressed with all 6 applicants. Every one of them had good input, answered all the questions the way you'd want to hear, and like I said, it's never easy to hear the word no. So with that, you guys got anything else you want to say?
No, I suppose we'll have to get with him. He'll be working with the guys. I assume he'll be contacting them in the interim.
Yeah.
And try to get things set up and hopefully get everybody working good together.
Yeah. Well, with that, since 2 of them are here, I want to praise the last few days with the snow. You guys have done what, I know you don't always get the praise because you stick to Facebook and listen to people complain about, well, I've never been down my road, but we don't do salt in Scott County, and we don't do some of the stuff other people do, and the cost of salt and the cost of building a facility to store the salt, people don't think about, and a lot of people 2 weeks from now when the sun's shining at 60 degrees, they probably won't think of the last 2 weeks. But I know you guys work hard. I know you do the best that you can do with what we give you, and you can ride around the new dump truck, but just putting cinders and scraping, don't always get it when it's ice and shaded areas on the county roads. So
And if it hadn't been for them, we wouldn't be able to do the food thing last
that's
Saturday.
true. Yeah, they went out of their way of scraping down at the fairgrounds for the food giveaway on Saturday, and put some cinders down. So, and actually got us a forklift down there to unload. So that's always appreciative as well, so.
And you mentioned salt, and it's something people don't even think about. You're right, you wouldn't just be buying the salt, you'd have to build a whole shelter to put it in. You
Yeah.
can't leave that out in the weather.
Yeah, so you're talking a $60,000-$80,000 building, and then the last I heard, salt was $70 or $80 a ton, and if you can even get it right now. So I know the city of Scottsburg ran out of salt. They were salting until they ran out. Know some other counties ran out of salt, and they're using rock chips and sand and everything else. So we have the luxury, and I don't even know how we get them, but we get cinders. I know other counties have tried to get cinders, and somehow they can't get them, but
We've got still a mountain of it
Yeah,
down there, so I was worried we might run out, but we're on top of that.
yeah, so, but anyway, to the public, I try to be patient. I mean, you know, go out and scrape your driveway if you think it's easy. I mean, it's not easy, and you're talking about 350 miles of roads of county roads, so, again, I know I've said it to my road boss and some other people, but I appreciate the work you guys do, so.
And I have personally not had one negative call, which, you know, that's saying something. That's as good as a slap on the back. I mean, unfortunately, you only hear the negative.
Yeah. All right, moving along, we're going to the highway bids for 2021. Tammy, did we finally get that where we need to be?
There's a list in your packet. Lori was able to prepare that summary list for you to look at.
And I will say, I don't think we have officially got the answer from legal or anything, but I think next year, if legal, and I know you're with Dave O'Meara, yeah. I think next year, we're probably just gonna ask people for a price list or some, because I don't know that anybody else does this like we do, and after we got thinking about it, we don't even know if we need to do this, because you guys always have the same, you know, your price isn't changing because of us, so, or anybody else for that matter, so, but it's technically, I don't know, we have to officially do this in a meeting like we've always done, so we may send out a letter to all the people that usually bid these things, and just let them know, hey, just send us your price list or what you're gonna be for 2021 or 2022, and we'll go from there, so.
And these prices can change, can't they?
Oh, yeah, I think
As we go.
yeah, the price of oil goes up, price,
We try to keep our prices consistent throughout the year, depending on, like now, liquid's going up.
Yeah.
But we try to keep our prices the same.
yeah. Well, but I guess what I'm trying to get at is, it's not that we don't want you to bid, or we don't want to know what your prices are, it's the fact that I don't know legally that we actually have to go through this process. I mean, and I think we're just trying to say, if we don't have to, let's just say, you send us a price list and we'll tell you if we're, you know, hey, you know, bring us this or this, so.
There's several counties that they take our bids for material, but they don't really use it. Most of it's either a laid price or later on for CCMG, or they accept all bids, so.
Yeah. And that's what we usually do too.
Because,
So,
you know, we're beneficial for a portion of the county, then if you get the southern portion of the county, you might have someone else that is beneficial.
that's, you're exactly right, and that's where we were going at with that, is that, you know, sometimes it's a good price list, but it's just that, it's a price list, you know, we're not, you know, you're not held accountable to it, and we're not either, it's not a contractual, so. Do I technically need to read all this?
We opened them up last time, I mean, if anybody wants a copy of that, they're welcome to have the summary copy. I think we'll just make it public record that they can have it, and then typically, you all just accept all bids and then ask whoever is a purchaser to do the most effective pricing and buy the most cost, you know, to the best of their ability.
Yeah, and that's what we've always done, I mean, but that's why I said we kind of make it more complicated than it actually is, so, I guess I'll take a motion to accept all bids.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I'll make that unanimous, so.
And it looks to me like you're right, and you're right, they need to send us information, but maybe every 3 or 4 months or something. I assume the prices can fluctuate a little bit. No, you don't think so?
We, like I said, we keep our prices about the same,
Okay,
and where you're gonna get the advantage is if you have, we lay the mix for you. Because you guys have your own paper, that you do your own stuff.
yeah,
So that's where it kinda, cause this bit's kinda funny because not all counties bid, lay their own mix. Cause they don't have the crew or take the investment to invest in the paper
Yeah,
or have the trucking to get there.
yeah, they don't have the capabilities to handle it,
There's
so.
like Lawrence County, they truck it, they have a big laid price, but for them to truck it themselves or for the contractor to truck it. And it's 2 different prices, and they give you the list of roads you're gonna pave. Every county kinda does it differently.
Okay,
well, the bid wouldn't make any difference anyway, I think you're right on that, so we just try to get the lowest prices
okay,
and go from there.
And CCMG's been a game changer for all the local communities. For them, getting you guys to be able to get that match money.
yeah,
So, a lot.
oh yeah, guarantee that,
I know Scott County's got a bunch of money in the last 3 years.
yeah. So, okay, well,
Thank you.
yes,
I would like to see,
what?
I would like to see some certification on the asphalt too. On the asphalt mix.
I don't know what you're asking, so maybe you can ask him if you're,
I'd like to see some type of certification on the asphalt mix,
As far as
how much sand you're getting, how much,
mix designs,
yeah.
yeah, we can provide you mix designs. Our mix is tested every day at our lab. We have a lab technician at every one of our plants that run every day. I could provide you that information
Okay,
for that mix. I can provide you mix designs. I don't have anything with me,
right,
but I can get that for you, no problem.
yeah, I would be interested in seeing that.
okay, anybody else? John? All right, thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, truck traffic on Hardy Mill, New London roads.
That's me. I got a call that,
Actually, I got that, I got
did you get
it,
it too?
I got it too.
Okay.
I got a voicemail.
Yeah. I'll go. Basically, we have businesses there in Lexington now. We have the groceries, and then over in Chelsea, you also have a grocery store over there, meat market and all that. And these trucks are all using, these big trucks, big soft drink trucks and all this stuff, are using our county roads to go back and forth. And the concern is we have all this pavement and everything we're doing now, that we might need to redirect these trucks off our county roads so they don't end up tearing up our pavement, which we're putting tons of money into. And therefore, we could maybe direct them back to 56 or over to 62 or whatever that-
62.
yeah. And it'd be an inconvenience for them. I know why they do it. It's just a quicker route for them. But we'll be paying the bill. And so it's just, maybe we should consider, I don't know, we probably need an ordinance, but at least get the county highway to get some signs up, tell them to head another direction.
Well, and truck traffic on those 2 particular roads, I would, if I was their managers, I'd tell them to stay off those roads, because those aren't the ideal roads for a tractor trailer or a big straight truck. So, I don't have a problem, coming up with an ordinance or changing something or posting signs that says no traffic or whatever, but, I don't understand why they can't go out 356.
They can.
And go all the way to
They're
62 and go the other way, or come all the way back to 3 and go down the other way.
They're just taking a shortcut.
But that is, to me, if I guarantee if their managers knew they were on either one of these roads, they'd probably have a canary, so, cause they're not made for truck traffic, not semi traffic and meeting another vehicle on the road, so.
We can, like you say, we can just put the signs up, but without the ordinance to back it up. And I don't know if our sheriff be chasing these people around there, but if they had some issues, they could actually take action without the ordinance kinda-
Well, I know we have we have some of those semi or no semis on certain roads, but I don't know how much backbone they have with them, so, I don't mind posting a sign on either one of the roads, but I think we need to talk with legal and see if we already have something in place and we need to add these roads to that, or, you know, I know with some road closed last year, we had a lot of truck traffic out on county roads, and, but those are, those are sometimes state that are regulating those, but these here, like I said, they're newly paved roads, and we're gonna tear them up, so I'd say if we could get some signs put up right now, and then see if we can
After we get legal.
come back and see if we can enforce it with some backbone, so. what do you
I
think?
agree with that.
I
Some
don't
of
think
these
we need to vote on that,
drivers,
do what, I'm sorry?
some of these drivers get a little carried away in speed in residential
Yeah.
areas. I don't even like that.
Yeah,
idea.
yeah, like you say, it's not just the road, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Having
yeah.
out there.
And, you know, yeah, it's not a matter of just money, it's safety too.
Yeah.
And,
Well, along with that, I have had a complaint, actually on Boatman Road by Little York Road. I'm gonna talk to the sheriff with and see. I know, we've argued about this before, about a county speed limit. And the state will tell you that if you're going to, have that, where you're gonna reduce the speed on county roads, that it has to be posted. So at that point, you're spending a lot of money on a sign to put up on county roads to tell them that it's not 50 or 55 miles an hour. And a lot of people don't understand that if there's not an ordinance and it's not posted, the speed limit, I think, is 55 miles an hour on any county road.
That's correct.
And that's on some, and quite honestly, the negative part of getting a community crossing grant, the negative part of getting new paved roads is people increase their speed because now it's nice paved. So, I know I had a lady, Facebook message me and asked me to look into, some cars, and she has specific cars that were passing her house with their kids playing in the yard, and yes, they're off the road a ways, but, you know, things can happen, so.
Most people I talk to, when they complain like what you said, are like totally surprised when they find out it's 55 miles an
Yeah.
hour. They think it ought to be 30 or something.
Well, there's
And
places
quite
that ought to
honestly,
be.
some of these roads 55 is fine, other ones 55 is way too fast.
Yeah,
yeah.
And it is a blanket limit, you're right.
well, Slab Road's just open speed there,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, 70's fine there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a speedway down through, it's straight and keep on going. So,
So what you're saying is we need to sell tickets on Saturday night?
it's probably, it's like NAB Nationals, and there's not too many people here that knows what NAB Nationals are.
The
but,
old- I remember the NAB National. I may have caught you guys out there, I'm not sure.
Me? No, John.
He wasn't old enough.
An alternative here, and I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but would be to, we'd have to warn the public aggressively, but put a stop sign up at Little York Road.
That might slow them down.
Yeah.
And actually, I never thought of that. That might be the best solution.
Yeah,
And just make it a three-way stop.
yeah, but like I say, you'd have to do a lot of advertising, let people know, and,
That would,
do what?
oh yeah, you live out there.
And I'm sure they will, but I think it would slow up the traffic quite a bit.
Well, but it would slow them. Actually, the people coming east and west, or east, they have to stop anyway, so their mindset would be, I'm stopping anyway, but the other traffic would take them a while to realize there's a sign
And
there.
I'm sure, yeah, we'd have to put some signage up and let.
That might be,
Grace period?
Well, I don't know the last person that ever got a ticket for running a stop sign, so anyway,
Look at that.
I think the stop sign, initially would be maybe a better solution on that particular road,
And I think like anything else, you have to have an ordinance to back it up.
but
Yeah.
I think long-term, we need to seriously think about having a county-wide speed limit, because I just see too many people flying. I mean, even through subdivisions and everything else, people just, they have a good road and,
The odd things about speed limits is, if we reduce it from 55 to say 35, that doesn't allow the state police to arrest people on those tickets. They can only go by the state law.
yeah.
So even though we might reduce it down to something, it would only be enforceable by our sheriff.
Yeah,
So you have to take a big picture of this too, how much good is it gonna do without the enforcement mechanism behind it. It might help us and the sheriff will want to have some.
and that's
conversation.
where legal would have to get involved, is knowing that, by state guidelines, what is enforceable and what's not. But I do know, other counties do have speed limits, and I guess need to ask the question, who's enforcing it?
Yeah.
Because if the state is not recognizing that, then we're kinda
Yeah.
just doing our own thing.
Sounds like for the most part right now.
I think sometimes just a sign helps.
Well, it would.
I mean, because a lot of times you get off work, your mind's a million miles away, and you see a sign, and you look down, I mean, it's so bad,
Yeah.
And, even if the sheriff doesn't enforce it, I think it helps, as a reminder.
Yes. So
So
maybe
it-
get some signs up out of Hardy or in London and look at a possibility of a
I
three-way
think-
stop.
I think the stop sign would be a start.
I do too.
At least they get a running start the next time, so.
And, I know people don't always stop, but they do slow down, for the overwhelming majority do. And that would have to at least break the speed.
I think it would, from Moonglow or Moon Road to that stop, yeah, you can get up good speed, but you're still, once there's another stop sign, you're not gaining anything, so I think we need to look into that, but I definitely, I wasn't thinking about the stop sign, but that actually would buffer that a little bit, so I guess we can get with the highway department, see if they've got some signs and, for
But
the.
I think for the stop sign, we better get an ordinance, because that could be.
Well,
without the
if there's an
ordinance,
accident there and we
Don't.
put a stop sign up
Yeah.
and we don't have something in writing, we could
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
get
So we'll
a
get
little trouble, so.
the trucking thing anyway. Yeah.
So we probably need to get with the legal on the stop sign, so. But on the other, I think we can post a sign, maybe we just deter them. And, so, until we can get an ordinance to say we don't want truck traffic on that road, so.
Yeah.
Next thing, looks like Andrew, notification of software recommendations. If you scoot that chair back, I'll let you take your mask off.
Okay.
I'll leave it on.
I just had a tic tac, I mean, it should be all right.
I don't care.
All right. I researched this Monday. I've been with the county for a little while now, and one thing we have always fought, if there is bad weather or just any kind of notification to county employees, we really don't have none, and it ends up being usually Tammy or me scurrying, because we've got a lot of cell phone numbers, in our phones, and we help out, try to spread the word, hey, there's a 2-hour delay, we're closed, something's going on, just information. So I researched this company called Calling Post, which has absolute good reviews. A lot of companies use this. It is a call out software, so if there's bad weather, any kind of information, say our insurance provider is going to be here, Aflac's going to be here, meetings, anything too. It's just an app, hit the record, write a message, it sends out to everybody. It can be defined in groups or just per employee also, so departments can utilize this, not just us. So, I think it would be a good option just to be able to inform all of our county employees, hey, this is going on, something's up. Then scurrying around trying to call and text everybody.
Well, I know you emailed everybody about
Yeah.
that, or, and I think I responded to you and said, I think, and he's not here because I know he's sick, but Jeff Fortner with 911 and EMA said that he's got a system,
I think it's Nixle. Yeah.
and that he thinks he has the capability, or he's told me before that he has the capability to break that out into groups as well. He can set up different, groups of all the county employees, or,
Yeah.
Break it out in groups or whatever. So, I didn't realize we had that. He said we've had it forever.
That's
Didn't
the
know
thing.
we
We've had
were
it for
utilizing it.
years and never utilized
Yeah,
it.
that one out over there.
So
So now I'm just to the point where I'm ready to,
this
Put
fee here,
something.
is this annually?
that is annually, that is up to 300 numbers.
Now, would this be something like the other night, 11 o'clock at night, we'd have to call you, or is it something how would we set everything in motion? How would we do that?
I think it still comes down to year 3
Yeah,
decision for anything.
No, but who could activate it?
yeah.
Anybody
But I
that
mean, do we
wants
call you to activate it, or can we just activate it?
You can call Tammy, me, you guys can have the app, or you can just hit that record button, or a text. You can do all three. You can do,
So there's an admins to the program, so.
Correct.
So Joe Blow,
no, they can't
county
just.
employee, can't get on there, everybody's off tomorrow.
Yeah, no, it would be strictly, that would be bad. It would be strictly department heads or whoever department heads could choose, elect to run that, or.
Okay, so there's an admin or
Correct.
admins
Yes.
to the program, so.
Or
Then,
if we did that, just you.
Yeah, because you can mass send email, text, and recorded message all at once. Also, there is results. So you can go onto the website and see the results of who actually answered the call, if it went to voicemail, who received the text, and it's also got read receipts to emails automatically. So it shows you the results of who's seen it.
So if somebody shows up and goes, boy, I didn't get that call, you can go back and look and say,
yes,
you did get
you
it.
did. So there is results with it also.
I assume like anything else, you'd have to have people update their phone numbers every so often, but people do change.
If we did this or it got it stuck in my head, we will send out like a spreadsheet template to each department head, which I know a lot of the phone numbers, so I can mostly program this myself. But department heads will send in everyone's name, phone number to me. I'll build it. Then we just got to make sure that if an employee leaves or gets a new phone, which in the system, if they get a new phone number, they can text back to, I know you've seen like you can text a keyword to like a 5-digit number and it subscribes you to this text group or something. They can do that automatically. They can text that keyword and it puts their new phone into the system, their new phone
Does
number.
it delete their old phone?
Yes, yes.
And I know a lot of times we send out notifications, Mass Mutual's gonna be here, or we've got, like you said,
Correct.
Aflac, we've got a lot of group help things, and we end up posting them, we try to send the notice to all department heads. But what happens with department heads, they get busy, they lay the email over to the side, and next thing you know, they forgot to tell their employees, and today's the meeting, and they're not prepared.
You
So,
can do all sorts of
Yeah.
So this
information
wouldn't
with
just
this.
help us, it would help
We
department
would directly basically communicate with the employees individually,
Yeah.
Well,
rather than relying on a department head to
Yep.
disseminate the information.
so I guess, where I would look at this is that if we're talking about that you can group it out and then each department head would have it be an admin to, either maybe their group, or some people would be over everybody.
Mhm.
Maybe the department heads would be an admin to their group or something.
Correct. They wouldn't be able to.
And they wouldn't be able to send a mass message. But where I guess I'm looking at is possibly at the sheriff's office, that it would benefit them to where they could send individual messages or group messages to their employees, because they probably have more employees than a lot of people.
Yeah, that's why I did plug in 300 numbers. I know that sounds like we don't have
That's not a
300,
whole lot.
but by the time you get everybody that works or part-time or reserves or anybody that helps in the county that we could give that number to, it adds up.
When you send this message out, can these people communicate back with you?
That I'm not
sure how we would
sure.
want that, but I'm just
Yeah,
curious.
I don't think you want that.
I think
you don't
you-
want some of the responses, probably.
Yeah, I think just the results page will just give you that heads up, like, hey,
Okay.
this message has been read. So,
I had a program like that before, and it just tells you that they acknowledged it, or they knew that
Wow.
they received it, or they opened it, or they got a busy signal, or whatever.
Correct.
So,
Or their wife did, or
yeah.
vice
Yeah.
versa.
and I mean, it can do home phone numbers, it can do cell phone numbers, you know, there might be that small handful of county employees that might not utilize a cell phone, I'm not sure, so.
If we vote for this, what fund would it come out of?
I've already budgeted it in my budget.
Okay, you've got the money.
Well, heck, far. There you go. Guy brings a program and says he'll pay for
Why
it.
didn't you say that?
Well,
Just a question, because, you know, I'm ignorant about this. How many employees do we have?
it's in 200 range.
Yeah, we're,
225.
right now,
225?
Thereabouts.
Okay.
yeah, and
Fluctuates.
do you think that's part-time and full-time?
Not that many calls.
Yeah, that's, cause whenever I did the
That's about-
ACA notices,
It's over
we
200.
busted like 221, and yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, we are over.
And we do
whatever.
have
Well,
a handful of reserves too, that this could benefit also, so.
Well, but you could, within that 300 and less than, you're not counting elected officials, are you?
They're in that group, yeah.
And I mean, also you could look at your county attorneys or your
Yeah.
other people that really does heavy business here, you know,
And
so
then
they
the
can give them a
reserves,
heads
there's
up.
probably 25 of.
Easily 20, yeah, I know I've got 25 easily plugged in.
So with this cost of this, this is just software, not there. Once you get the software on your computers or on county computers or on your phone or app or whatever it be, that's the end of it.
It's completely web-based, so there's no physical software that touches a computer.
So
It's
if
just a web page.
if you said, hey, Mike, you're gonna be an admin, or all three commissioners, is there an app that I could put on my phone and I can go to the app any place I want?
Android and iOS.
Okay.
And you
So-
train all the department heads.
Yeah, it is very simple to use
So
too.
it's stupid proof?
I don't want to say that. But I did do the trial. I played around on it Monday and Tuesday.
So that's
just
the
to
text I got.
Yes. Yeah. No. I was actually thinking about like going ahead and programming some numbers, but I was like, I'll just
I'll make a
wait.
motion to pass.
Second.
I think if we're not gonna use the system that we have, and it may not be as up to date with the modern technology and
I think Nixle is a good program. I think it's more, I mean, it can do this, but it's also really good for
Emergency
EMA
services.
stuff and all that, but.
yeah.
This is just a good, all uniform, we can send out information mass need be anytime.
Now, this is a 1-year contract, or is there a
Correct.
contract?
No, there's no contract.
Okay,
Yeah, we can,
so if we don't like it, we can say no next year.
correct.
Okay.
Well, I'll make that unanimous, but on the other part, and I know you don't, Jeff's not here, so I really, but you know a little bit about the Nixle.
Just a little itty bit, because we, like I said, we really never
So is-
utilized it, so.
It's
Well-
literally been here 15, 20 years.
I think we need,
I think the state uses it quite a bit for their classes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think,
That's about all I've ever seen.
I think we need to be utilized, especially in this last week with all the snow and stuff.
Yeah.
I think if the school system, and I don't know what system they have, if they can go out there and send a mass text to every parent, grandparent, anybody that wants to be on their text list, I don't know why the county can't do that for emergency services, and quite honestly, the one thing I fear most is a tornado, because you don't have early warning signs as much as you know, if you live in
Yeah.
Scottsburg, you can hear the siren going off, but if you live anywhere else, you're not gonna hear the siren. So I think in the day and age when everybody has a phone either in their hand on their side or in their car or at home, If you can send a mass text that, hey, there's a tornado and it's on the ground, and that forewarns people, but we need to, even though we say we have that technology, we need to utilize the
Correct.
technology, so.
Correct. That's very correct.
So, I'll make that unanimous, so.
Okay. Appreciate it, guys.
Yep.
Thanks, sir. Just match back on that.
All right, EMS grant application request.
So I've been working with Melissa at Hoosier River Valley.
River Hills.
River Hills, working on some FEMA grants, also some IDHS grants. Just letting you guys know, we're trying to get some more money for the departments. Also looking at, CARES Act for 2021. I was talking to the State Fire Marshal's office, the other day. We are the first county, and to expand on that, we were the first ambulance service in the state of Indiana to actually give COVID to homebound patients. So they are going to be using our methodology for the rest of the state.
What do you mean methodology?
Well, how we went about it, steps we took in implementing it and all that kind of stuff.
So, back up a second, COVID what? What did you do that you're the first one to do?
So we were the first ones to
You
give
and the health
homebound
department.
patients,
What?
homebound patients, so
Okay.
people who can't get out of the house, we wouldn't vaccinate them out there.
Okay, I didn't know you were doing that, so.
Yep, per state EMS, IDHS,
Yeah, that's you and the health department together.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah. So we were the first ones to do that. And
that's
there was a press release from the health department on that.
So we were talking about homebound people that can't get out to the sites.
Correct.
Okay.
So we had 3 of those. 2 of them were in Scottsburg in the same residence. 1 was out at the golf course. So,
Okay.
and then we will have that follow-up as well. And they told us we will be able and eligible for some grant money from that to help our process along.
It may have said in that press release, I'm not sure, did it tell the people how to,
Yes, Michelle wrote it out. It followed all state IDHS stuff as well as the health department side, and how to call and how to schedule those appointments.
and we're the first in the state, so that's
We are the
pretty.
first to use EMS for pre-hospital vaccinations.
I mean, just curious, did we just apply for it, or how
No,
that?
there was a mandate set on by Governor Holcomb to do that.
Yeah, I mean, how did he pick Scott County? I'm tickled to
How did
death.
they pick Scott County? We were the first ones just to do it.
First one to.
First
Okay.
ones to do it. They didn't pick
Okay.
anybody. We are the first ones that
Okay.
implemented the state practice of this
Well, that's
new model.
kudos. Kudos
So
to you
that's,
guys. Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah.
So we are the first ones to do that.
Okay.
So along with that, we're gonna be trying to get more money for COVID and that kind of stuff. One thing that we did receive is a new fogger from the state. We applied for a grant. The state has surplus equipment. A fogger goes in and decontaminates the ambulances after we have had a COVID run. We use the blue light at this point to do that. We also have our scrubbers on the trucks, but now we also have foggers that we can do equipment as well that we might utilize. So we can use our stretchers. We can pull out specific items and fog these things over. All that stuff is going to be given to us by the state. Once we use up our supplies, then we will be responsible for buying the new supplies, but we do have that stuff available
Will this only clean COVID bacteria?
specifically.
So I got a question about that. I mean, I know some of the new ambulances have the equipment on there that's supposed to clean themselves, fluid-wise.
Yeah, it
I
goes
get-
through and cleans the air. It scrubs the air.
My question, the question I have is, how do we know it's working?
Well, we have not had anybody, we've had COVID positive patients.
Oh,
Staff. Nobody has gotten it because of work-related issues. Everybody that's come down with COVID in our department has got it from their residents.
I know that. I'm just saying that
How do we know?
we're set,
We're-
I know. It's-
We're decontaminating after every run.
I know
It doesn't
that.
matter if it's a trauma run, if it's a medical run, or if it's a COVID run. We follow,
I guess my
Yeah.
question, I mean, the
It's
thing
in-
was, is that,
it-
you know, the ambulance company sells a system that says it'll scrub the air. You know, somebody's selling you a fogger that says it's going to fog the equipment and sanitize the equipment. How do we know it's working? You know, so I guess.
We don't have people coming back positive for different kinds of strep. We don't have them coming back with flu. We don't have them coming back with hepatitis and HIV.
To
The way-
me, that's just like wiping your hands. I mean, you don't know
Oh,
if
I
it's
know.
gonna work, but it's
Right.
it's something we have available.
It's all prevention. If
You know,
prevent
you do
never
it.
get it.
I know, but that's why I said, is it something that's, I guess in your mind, you're saying, hey, I scrubbed that, I fogged that, and it gives you peace of mind, but, you know, is it, you know.
The same
you
thing
can-
we do to the station.
You
Well,
can,
are they doing it out in California?
Oh, yeah, it's
Oh, okay, we're
nationwide.
good.
yeah,
It's nationwide, man.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that it's, you can sell it, but that don't mean it works, so.
All I can say is with the scrubbers in the trucks now, we have peace of mind knowing that if something does happen and our mask breaks, we do have at least clean air that we're breathing until we get on a new mask. So we're taking every precaution to make sure our
I
staff's.
agree with that, and I appreciate that. I was just
I mean, I
saying,
don't
how do
want-
we know that it
Right,
It's another
works?
tool.
yeah.
So,
And that's just like, people used to take angio caps and stick them in the seats of the ambulance. Well, when they did that, in the foam of that seat cushion, you would start to have strep to grow. You'd have all kinds of bacteria to grow. Well, when they would go and strip these ambulances out and remodify them to re-chassis those boxes, that's when you'd find all this stuff and in the plywood and in the foam. So a lot of that stuff goes back to proper disposal.
And a fogger wouldn't necessarily keep you from still going down and cleaning everything like that.
Right.
You would still do all that. It ain't
Right.
just something like, we fog it, then we walk away.
Right.
whatever happened with just plain old bleach? Bleach kills everything.
Well,
That's true.
on everything.
You got a question?
Yeah, I have a question about cleaning. What is the chemical that's in the fogger? Is it paracetic acid? Is it, what is the active ingredient in the fog?
I don't know what exactly the cleaner is. As soon as I get the investigation, I can tell you.
Okay.
Because I went on the sink to get this.
And is it just for the air?
It would be just for the surfaces.
Okay, because he has a great point doing this infection control. All the disinfectants in the world is not gonna help you if you don't decontaminate.
Right.
Which means you lock down every inch of it
Oh, yeah.
before you fog it.
And I think that's where I was going a minute ago.
It was.
This isn't going, this is a supplement to the cleansing process. It's not, it doesn't mean we gotta stop cleaning.
Right.
It's just something.
Well, it's an ongoing
It's a-
process. We, after all these runs, we usually go back, and I say usually if we get 2 or 3 runs, because we're running hard, we're gonna do the blue light, which takes us about 20 minutes when we blue light these trucks. And basically that takes, and there again, you're putting your faith in this technology. And it does have a stench to the back of the truck after they've been used because it smells like burnt flesh. And it goes through and burns all the molecules in the back of the truck.
And you're paying, this is a grant, did you say?
It was a grant, state had a bunch of extra equipment, and they were giving them out, and we were one of them in District 9 that got the grant for a
It's a
unit,
grant from the state, which they already okay.
which we don't have to pay nothing for.
Yeah.
So, okay, might sound like a silly question, but when you fog your ambulance, are you running the ambulance and do you put your vents on circulate so that
These
it
trucks
gets
are shut
into
off.
the,
Yeah, these trucks are shut off, they're not going into the vents. They're not going into the HVAC systems and all that stuff.
okay, so
That's what
is
we
it possible to fog it and get it into the circulate?
don't wanna do that, that's why we have the scrubbers on the trucks.
Okay,
They're scrubbers, and that blue light does that for us.
okay, all right,
Yeah. That's why they have the air purification systems in the truck,
good deal.
so. On another note, I will be going out of town on the 23rd and 24th to pick up an ambulance in St. Louis. So I'll have to be out of town for a couple of days, just to let you guys know. The sales rep's coming to pick me up, drive me out, and I'm driving the truck back.
And I told you the back a while ago, but I just want everybody in the room to know, I got a phone call 4 o'clock, 3:30 from somebody that you all had done a run on, about 9:15 Friday morning, a person had been a big critic in the past. Just couldn't get over telling me how good a job you guys did. And actually felt like it could have been a life-saving measure I did, so. And this, so you flip somebody was very, you did good.
Right,
Well,
appreciate it.
I know that.
That is for I Am Responding. We're wanting to try that. We've been trying it for the last 90 days for free. Basically, it's a contract for 1 year. It's $800. And what it is, it gives us the address and the complaint. Once they add it into the CAD system, it goes to our crews first before they tone out the run. So that way we can be prepared for the call when it comes out. They can be heading to the truck with the address, and we don't have to keep tying up dispatch with the address and numerics and all that kind of stuff.
So this would be something that's on a computer screen in your truck,
No, it goes to our cell phones.
so it'd go to a cell phone.
Every cell phone, everybody has it. And
So who enters the information?
dispatch? Yes, sir.
So once dispatch starts a CAD on somebody, you'll automatically get the information.
Yep.
I guess the question is, what, is it going to, then I guess I'm gonna ask that question, is EMS have EMS department phones in each truck?
Each truck has them. They're going to the truck phones as
Okay,
well.
all right, that's good.
The truck phone's the supervisor phone, myself
Okay,
and
I just
Kyle,
wanna-
but it's for the same price for 3,000 phones.
Oh, I know, what I'm asking is that
Right.
it's not going to everybody's personal phone, so,
Right.
okay. Here, I'll let you look at that too. I guess while they're looking at that, I got a couple of questions. I got a call before I came in here. Do you know anything about an incident at the hospital?
Last night, yes. I found out after the fact.
So what are we doing about that?
Well, the person who caused the incident had to write it up. Kyle wrote it up as well. And then I talked to him this morning, told him that there will be no more issues with that. Because that was not a directive from me. Because that's not how I was told them to handle those calls. That call come in when I was, because it's on my phone, that's how it was dispatched. ER to Buchanan's corner case. There should be no question.
Okay, well, I'm not saying that there was a question about them doing their job. It's the walk in, open your pie hole and saying something you shouldn't say.
Well, like I
Because
said,
I heard
I know.
some people very upset about it, and then I have another incident that I want you to look into about something that happened at a nursing home with a code. So I'll give you some particulars on that later, so.
Right. And I have that incident wrote up, but there again, I don't know the exact details of everything. And I'm still investigating that as well. Because I've got to go out and talk to the nursing home and all that kind of stuff.
Because I got a call, and I called the nursing home, I talked to them, and they're not real happy. So, so those two situations, actually, I thought we were having
It was canceled.
I know, I thought we were having an executive session, because I have about 10 questions that I have to want to ask.
So with that, I do want a executive session the next time you guys meet.
I want an executive session with just EMS.
Okay.
So that's where I was going, because I
Right.
have a list of stuff that I don't want to air in a public meeting, but needs to be aired, so.
Well, I also would like to talk with you about some things.
That's fine, but one thing I do want to say, and I want to make sure that EMS knows that there is an EMS advisory board. That advisory board is just that, an advisory board. The board of commissioners are EMS's, bosses,
Right.
per se. I don't like to use that word, but the buck stops at this door. And the advisory board is an advisory board. If there's a decision made on any policy, any type of thing, it happens right here. So I just want to make sure that people at EMS know that when we say something, they're in another source that's going to say something different. So I just want that cleared. So Tammy, when can we do an advisory or a executive session? Because I got some things I wanna talk about.
Your own meetings, not that you have to tell me those days, but they'll be the 3rd and the 17th again, just like this month in March. We kind of, you guys prefer afternoons, mornings, evenings,
I can do either way.
I prefer afternoon.
afternoons, okay. I have to have 2 days of business day time.
So-
proposed.
Can we do it on the 3rd, say at 4 o'clock?
The 3rd at 4.
March,
Can you do that?
Sure.
All right.
I'm guessing we don't have to do this, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to have somebody from the advisory board here.
They're welcome,
Yeah.
so. I encourage it. He's gave me a subscription here for this IAR.
I am responding.
And, so you guys look at this and what do you think?
Yeah,
John,
Oh, I was talking to Shannon. What was it again?
it's this,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
so I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I'll make it unanimous. So you need me to sign this or do
Yes,
you?
sir. Well, I can sign, it
And is
doesn't
this a
matter.
notification system as
Yes.
well? And what's it called again?
I am responding.
I guess that's supposed to be printed.
And I'll get with you. I wasn't aware of any issues last night, so
Right.
I'll get with you on
Well, like I said, I'm still trying to get on the information.
that. You're working on it.
There you go. Appreciate it.
We've been helping out with at the county health department, plowing snow. County highways used our Kubota over there. We went over and plowed them because they were busy on Monday. Also with the coroner's office, they have been using the Durango, and they have been supplied from some of our stuff to get them started on their processes.
So what are they doing with the Durango?
They took it to their training,
Oh, okay, yeah, I knew that, yeah,
and they're gonna be using it next weekend as well.
yeah, yeah.
So they also got some information from the auditor's office today, tax exempt form, and how to get their fuel logs. John had come over and got that today. He knows the clerk to get a hold of you guys to get that done as well.
Okay,
There you
sounds
go.
good, appreciate it.
Do you guys mind to approve his out-of-state travel?
Yeah,
Nobody made a motion or
I
anything.
make a motion about his out-of-state travel.
Oh,
Second.
Make it unanimous.
That's because it's out of state.
That's
Within
correct.
state, we would
You
do
wouldn't
that.
have to worry about it. You're correct.
Clerk's office scanner maintenance contract renewal.
You guys have, front page copy.
Crowley?
Yes, for Crowley. I have the original over here for signature, if you guys.
Looks
would.
like it's is this a 3rd-year auto unit replacement contract
It's a renewal,
for a,
scanner that they use in the clerk's office.
okay, it looks for $1,350.
I'm assuming that's the annual, contract for that, for maintenance and warranty or whatever on the device. Those things are very, very expensive, and so that's why the contract seems a little bit high. Those units are usually,
So is this a service contract?
let's see what it says.
Because it says a 3rd-year auto unit replacement contract.
Maintenance contract.
Yeah, it's for their microfilm, microfiche, they can scan different documents.
Is there some money with this, involved with this? I assume there is.
Do what, I'm
Is
sorry.
there some money involved with this?
It's already budgeted in the clerk's budget.
So she's asking to have it renewed.
Yeah, it's a
And the money's
renewal.
already there, so I assume she knows what she's talking about.
And it's I think there was a 3-year, see, it says on the code, the item is 3-year, and I think this is the 3rd year of the auto, this is you bought the warranty or the service for 3 years with the unit. And this is an installment for that, for the 3rd year, for a 3-year. That's all I have really, there's just a brochure on the back of this, I don't really have.
So it's about $4,000 for a service, for overall for 3 years, I guess.
What I can remember, for example, with the scanner that we had, a few years ago purchased between the recorders and the surveyor's perpetuation and the clerk's office. I don't know if the clerk ended up having to come up with anything, but Mark Gardner helped us purchase a scanner that we could use for the bigger documents. And the unit itself was extremely costly, and the warranty was pretty high on it, but those things are very, very expensive. So that's why that price really doesn't shock me about, and if we get this renewed, we save $33.
I just want to clarify that
Right.
this is a service contract.
Correct, it's not a
Okay.
purchase.
All right.
No, you are correct. It's
All
not a
right, that's
purchase.
all I'm asking, is it's a service contract.
Contract.
Okay, I need a motion.
I'll second.
I'll make it unanimous. Resolution to waive formalities in a declared emergency.
Okay, this is what I alluded to, before. I don't have a number on it because I need to look at my numbers to see what I need to start with for 2021. But this has to do with, again, the governor's executive order. He declared a public health emergency throughout the state. If you look down about 5th or 6th paragraph, it says, and where the Indiana Community and Rural Affairs, or Indiana Office of IOCRA announced, IOCRA. Rural Affairs, OCRA, announced the program from which local governments can apply for grants. This is going to pave the way for the activity for redevelopment commission. If you look on the second page at the top, authorizes the redevelopment commission to cooperate with the county in the manner that best serves the county. So it's the commissioner's approval that during emergencies, we might tap into funds that we would not normally tap into for such things. And then I'm gonna segue a little bit over too, because whenever the redevelopment plan amended last year, the Northern Tip District, where Tri-Hawk is at, it opened it up in a couple of different avenues for allowance for expenditures from that fund. And one of them was for the improvement of county buildings, even the purchase of a parking area or a county annex building or whatnot. And it also allowed for the support of emergency services as part of an infrastructure of the county. And therefore, it is not unthinkable or out of the ordinary or out of the way of the TIF plan that funds that's needed for the setup of the new coroner's office could not be allocated from redevelopment as well. So that takes some pressure off the commissioners and the council. And because again, this fund has about 8 tax cycle life rounds left, and it's over. So,
And we could take care of that in our February 20th.
yes, that's what they're gonna be entertaining. I think at that meeting that John and I talked some about that, and if they'll give me authorization, I can advertise, and then they can go ahead and commit to the appropriation. And we can have a meeting to follow up with formally putting it in place.
Do you need a request from us to do that, to send it to redevelopment?
Probably what we'll want to do is, I've kind of been making notes, I think we need a few letters from this board that's kind of scatter out to some different entities. And one might be a letter of support from the commissioners for the small business incentive, and requesting that they fund that, as well as requesting, due to the difficulty and circumstances with the coroner's office and what we're experiencing, that we also would want them to consider funding that as well, and in compliance with their TIF ordinance.
I think it allows us to get this process going, get it
I-
done quicker, rather
Yeah, I think you
than
need,
waiting on and on.
I think you need to write the letters, and I guess I'll entertain a motion for this new resolution.
Is that the resolution, was it this one here for the?
Yes.
Yeah, the resolution
There's not a
for
number on
waiving
it.
formalities of, okay, yeah, I'll second that. I'll make the motion.
What it does is actually, if I believe what Tammy's been saying, is that it opens up an avenue for us to ask for money from redevelopment,
Yeah.
and gives redevelopment the authority to issue that money.
In these difficult times
Yeah,
with this
so
emergency.
it's kind of a once over, and once the crisis or the pandemic or the state of emergency or public health emergency from the state runs out, this will probably go away, would it not?
Yes,
Okay.
these allowances won't be allowed for.
John made a motion, Randy,
I'll second.
Randy seconds it, I'll make it unanimous. So I need to sign one of these? Actually, all of us need to sign it. looks
Yes,
like.
you do, and then I'll assign a number to it later. And then I'll try to work on some letters from your board and
Yeah, if we could write a couple of letters to the TIF board and so that we can,
And of course,
make that formality.
we'd have to wait to see how they vote, but I feel strongly about
Well,
it.
you're on that board, so
Yeah.
got, maybe get one vote.
Yep. Maybe, no.
All right, claims consideration. Well, it looks like there's, a claim for Joyce Hickman for $700 and Matthew Bender for $508.61.
And why Joyce is double, her normal claim is because, January was not asked for, so this is January and February
Okay, so there's 2 months for, the cleaning lady
at the health department.
at the health department. So we have, 3 claims here. Do I hear a motion?
Yes, I'll make that motion.
Second by Randy, and I'll make that unanimous. Next on the agenda is payroll ratification for February the 12th, 2021. Everybody had an opportunity to look at the payroll.
Yes, and I'll make a motion to pass it.
I'll make that unanimous. Along with that, we have consideration of the January 6th minutes.
I'll make the motion to pass.
Second.
I'll make that unanimous. We're down to the county attorney appointment letters. Wait a minute, on this one here, all 3 of us need to sign these?
No, just you.
Okay, so that's signed.
You need this?
On the appointment letters, did everybody get a copy of the letter that Tammy wrote to send out to all the county attorneys? And
If you have any modifications, I know Mike had an ad, and so I've got that on the updated list. If you guys have anybody that you would like to add to that list, we'll be starting to really crank those letters up, because we've made contact with the couple, but we've got some more to do, but every local person is gonna get a letter.
yeah, I've,
Well, this is the letter I got. I'll let you.
That was the letter, that's in response to. the
yeah, that's a
contact.
response letter.
Yeah.
I think we just hold on to them until we,
Okay.
Yeah, we'll collect them. When I get it, I'll just collect and give to you guys.
because I know I'm receiving some phone calls from some attorneys, so.
Do we want to give, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say, I explained to them the process we're gonna try to do is that we're gonna reach out to as many attorneys in Scott County and in the adjacent counties and see who is interested in possibly serving as the county attorney for the commissioners. And, at that point, we can see who is interested and somebody that we might think is interested, but they really aren't interested. So, and then we're gonna probably take it in executive session and contemplate who best would fill that position, so.
Do we have a deadline on this, like we need to have answers back?
We talked
by
about,
March 1st or
we'd like to
something?
do something by make a decision by the first meeting in April, but, whether.
Lord, I'd like to do it before then.
Well, we're already almost the end of February. I mean, we could do it third week of March. I mean, everybody feels like we're gonna get
Well-
responses.
Yeah,
But you, in your letter, didn't you put
I just kind of, and I can change that, but yes, on my letter, I'll need to look at it.
we just need to put in there that, hey, we need your responses as quick as
Prompt
possible.
responses.
Okay.
So
But I don't have a problem doing it quicker now. We can do it next week, let's do it, but.
Yeah.
Do you want me to put in there that the commissioners would be, entertaining, interested, people on the 17th of March? I mean, you guys want to do it in a month? You feel like you-
I don't know that we're going to do an interview type of thing, and I think we've discussed that. I don't know that we're gonna sit down like we would a normal interview. I think we may do a phone call and say, hey, here's questions we have if somebody, but
When they send their letter back to us, they may want to explain their credentials.
yeah. And it might be if we get down to, 3 people, and say, hey, let's just do a phone call and we'll meet in an executive session and call them and ask pertinent questions that somebody might have of somebody and then go from there, so. But I don't think we need to have a face-to-face and somebody tell me they went to which law school and,
Do you want me
you
to
know.
have them have their, if they have an interest, to please express that before March?
The one thing, yeah, I think March 17th is fine, but the one thing I wanna make sure that I get from responses from attorneys is that what kind of experience do you have in government law? I mean, and I don't want somebody that's been doing criminal law and he's going to guess what the answer is. I want somebody that, you know, is, I won't say aggressive, but I want somebody that is up to date on what's going on around and what we can do and what we can't do
How legal they are.
yeah, I just don't want to be hiring somebody that he's gonna ask somebody else, hey, I got this question and can you answer it, so. I just wanna make sure their specialty or they have a good experience in this type of law, so that's my 2 cents, so.
Alright, I can add that to the letter. Okay, that way we'll have kind of more of a window that we're gonna be taking the letters of interest in.
Yep,
Okay,
okay.
that works.
Well, John, we're at the end of the meeting, we don't have anything else, you got anything?
No, sir, don't ask me again, because we'll get talking, I'll think of something.
Randy, you got anything additional? Okay, well, I'll take a motion to adjourn the
Make
meeting.
that motion.
John makes a motion,
I think.
Randy seconds, I'll make it unanimous. And I wasn't a dig at all engineers either.
Oh, you're bad, you're bad. I didn't think